How many of us wish we could go back and change something about our past? Let's just be honest with ourselves. If you wish you could go back, say I. Put down in the comments what you would change and how you would change it. If you take a look up here at my thumbnail, you'll see that picture number 1 is me at 18 years old on my spring break in Cancun. My middle one there is 27 years old, struggling, kind of trying to find my way still. And the top one there is just from a month ago, me at my age now, 47. And 5 years sober, looking to continue to grow, ascend, and make my way to eventually uh, glorify God every single day, give him the glory, and have heaven on earth, which is what I've had for the last 5 years. It hasn't been an easy 5 years. It was a struggle to get sober. It was a struggle to stay sober. But I'm telling you, man, it's worth it. And if you can get to that point where you can look at your drinking and be honest with yourself, everything changes. And it's the best. Being alcohol free allows us to be our authentic selves. Like right now in this video, I'm being vulnerable. I'm allowing you guys into my life a little bit and allowing a little glimpse into, honestly, being honest with ourselves is really the key to sustained sobriety. If we can be honest and stop lying about what alcohol is doing to us, it's destroying us. It's making our lives miserable. It's not making it better, which it feels like in the moment. But the more and more we drink and the more and more we deal with the fallout from our alcohol and our addictions, the longer it's going to take to dig out of that hole. So I'm doing it all wrong, is what I would kind of tell my younger self. You're doing this wrong. You're trying to live by other people's standards. You're trying to live by other people's, uh, vision of what your life should be. And it's confusing when you're 18 years old and you're growing. If you're 18 to say 30 and you're younger, uh, in those age period, in that age period, you can tell that a lot of times we're trying to mold ourselves into what society thinks we ought to be. And that is a huge mistake. One of those things where if I could go back in time and tell my younger self a secret, I would tell them that I would tell him that you're doing this wrong. You are wanting to find a way to live life on your own terms. That's what you're really ultimately trying to do. But you're not going to be able to do that if you continue drinking. Now, when I was younger, obviously, we all have people that are telling us how to live our lives. We're telling us that the alcohol is a problem, or drugs, or the choices that we're making. All of it is wrong. It's not going to lead anywhere good. But it's deeper than that. What it's really doing when we're stuck in that period of time in addiction and struggling with our mental health, it's that we're on a decline. We're not ascending. We're going the opposite direction of ascending. We're going down. We're not growing. It's the opposite of growth. It would be one thing if we're drinking and we're staying stagnant, you know what I mean, and just kind of, you know, staying above the water. And that in the moment, that's really what it feels like, right? When we're drinking, it feels like we're staying right there. We're not growing, but we're not going backwards either. And we accept that. I mean, we accept that because the buzz is worth it. So the longer we go and we kind of look back on our lives, we start to look and say, what would we tell our younger self? And let's be honest with it. What would we change? Drinking made me ruminate about things that happened 30 years ago. So those choices that I was making up there in my thumbnail when I was 18 years old, I dwelled on those choices from 15 to 18 years old when I started drinking at 15 until I basically 3 years after I quit drinking, I was still ruminating on those things. Choices that I made, things that I wished I would have done, regrets. And the little secret is that it's okay to be honest with ourselves and kind of wished we could know what would have happened if we would have made a different decision, if we would have caved to that idea. I ultimately played out every scenario through those ruminations that I could. And that's really how I was able to get to the point where I can live with what happened, because I made those choices for a reason. And a lot of the choices that I made, I did because I actually didn't want to live with the guilt and the shame of what would have happened if I made the wrong choice. We all want to make choices that feel good but are wrong for us. We all want to make that choice because it feels good in the moment, and maybe we sacrifice a little bit to make that choice, but that's okay. We can live with it. But sometimes if we can be clairvoyant enough, even when we're younger, in our teenage years, our 20s, we can know and we can play the tape forward even during that time of youth and make the right choice. And ultimately, all those things that I ruminated about, I was able to come to terms and say, you know what? I'm a good person. I made good choices. The drinking and continuing on and doing more than just drinking, because the alcohol was a gateway to other things. That is what really was holding me back. So we can have people telling us all day long how we should live our lives, but that doesn't change the fact that we can live life on our own terms, and we have to experience that stuff sometimes in order to get to the other side where we want to go. I'll share with you one little story about my 30s, and then I'll kind of leave it at that. But what happened was I worked for a big hospital, attached to a school institution, big name. I worked there for 5 years. When I first started there, I had a lot of hope. I was only 33 years old. I was just getting engaged. I had a lot of things working out my way. I was still drinking a lot. What happened was about 6 months to a year there, I had one of my coworkers saying, "You should apply for this ergonomics grant and get a machine that'll stand up so we can stand while we are working." And because we were getting tired of sitting all the time. And I said, you know what, I'll try that. Let's do that. So I applied for the ergonomic grant. I got us a grant. It bought us like 5 of these stand-up work desks. So we put our computer and our keyboard on this desk. We raise it up, and we can stand anytime we want. And if we want to sit back down, we just push it back down, sit down. I was able to write a proposal the next year, a bigger one, so that I could get stand up for the entire department, which was a big department, like 3 floors. And I wanted to take it further and expand out to the entire hospital. Ultimately, what happened was I was talking with my dad. My dad was somebody that I really looked up to and wanted to kind of emulate. He was an entrepreneur. He always owned his own businesses. He ran things himself. But a lot of times he sacrificed his time, his moral compass, his moral values, would cut corners and things like that. And I took some advice from him, and I decided that the advice wasn't going to work for me. But I called a different company, one that owned and built these stand-up machines, and it was kind of a conflict of interest. But I told him, I would like to go into business with you, and if you can sell these stand-up work machines to uh, the entire building, the entire like 20,000 employees, if you can continue selling these, I would like to get a percentage of what you sell here, since I'm promoting it here. Now, I don't know what the rules and regulations were on that, but I know that I can tell you that it felt dirty and I felt guilty about doing it. So I ultimately decided that I don't want to do that, and I felt bad about that for a while, because my dad, kind of looked down on me, that like, what happened to that idea that you had? And I said, well, it wasn't for me. And really, that was the honest to God truth. But the honest to God truth was that I kind of just stopped being passionate about it. I couldn't see myself putting in that much time and effort into something like that. So I ultimately decided, not for me. But my dad kind of made me feel like I wasn't enough, and he made me feel that way pretty much my entire life. Sadly, he passed away in 2020, and I didn't talk to him for like the last couple years after we had a blow up and a fallout. No regrets with that though. I lived my life the way that I saw fit. We had a good conversation, and the last time that we talked, and it was a blessing to be able to have the relationship that we even did for my entire life. But I had to let that go, and I had to let a lot of things go in my life in order to have a better life, and that included quitting drinking, which I did in 2020. Reached out to my biological father a couple years before that, and I ultimately was able to start to live life on my own terms. So, what about you? Where are you in your sobriety journey? Are you sober curious? Are you looking to get sober? Please put in the comments some of the experiences that you've had trying to live your life your way, and how it evolved over time. And let us know. I've got a group called Sobriety in the Storm. It's on Facebook. It's a private group. Uh, I'll pin the link in the comment section below. You can click on there and join that group at any time. I'm on there 24/7 checking in, but we've got a big group there, and we can help each other out. So I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for joining. Please like and subscribe if you found these videos helpful, and check out some of my other videos. I'll pin the link below for some more of my other videos. So have a great sober day, everybody.